This training video will overview the Avigilon L6A license plate reader camera and demonstrate the steps to install it. L6A is a high-definition fixed LPR camera with onboard analytics suitable for deployment by retailers, schools, parking providers, homeowners associations, and other commercial organizations. This video demonstrates installing a junction box to a wall and then installing the camera to a junction box. The camera can be installed on a flat surface, a pole mount, or a corner mount. Before installation, please consult the installation guide, which is available for download on our website. The guide provides essential safety information, warnings, notices, and precautions. Additionally, consult the L6A site design guide, which is intended as a general introduction to LPR concepts, evaluation of site conditions for the installation of the LPR camera system, and the associated capabilities of the L6A LPR camera. It is recommended that site evaluation and implementation be performed with the assistance of a sales manager, customer success manager, or a professional from our service organization. For further assistance, refer to the System Design tool, which is intended to help select appropriate cameras, lenses, and storage appliances to design an effective video security system for specific sites. Use SDT to estimate camera bit rate, storage calculations, field of view coverage, and analytic capacity needs. For information on SDT, refer to the appropriate training materials. Verify the package contains the Avigilon L6A camera, a junction box, a mounting template sticker, a protective rubber boot, Teflon tape, a security bit hex key, wall screws with drywall anchors, and a quick start guide. The pole mounting bracket and the corner mounting bracket are optional accessories not included in the package and sold separately. The installation guide demonstrates how to install the pole or corner mount. To complete the installation, ensure access to a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a power drill, a measuring tape, wire snips and shrink wrap, zip ties, and silicone sealant. Additionally, ensure access to a ladder, a mobile phone or a PC with web browser access for camera connection, configuration, and aiming of the camera. These tools are not included in the package. Reviewing the supplementary videos is recommended before installation of the camera. The supplementary videos cover topics for video analytic cameras, such as pre-deployment and inbox, configuration, how to use grommets, configuring onboard storage, and resetting to factory default settings. This camera can be pre-configured in its shipping box. It is optional to have a basic camera setup performed off-site before hardware installation. Configuring a single camera requires additional networking hardware, such as a PoE injector and an Ethernet cable. Multiple cameras can be configured simultaneously. Configuring multiple cameras requires a PoE networking switch and additional Ethernet cables. To pre-configure the camera without unpacking the box, access the RJ45 port through the flap on the outside of the box. For more information, refer to the supplementary video or the camera's installation guide. Prior to installation, review the mounting and aiming recommendations for optimal installation. The next segment demonstrates how to install the junction box to a wall. First, use the mounting template to drill the mounting holes and one cable entry hole into the mounting surface. Next, insert the anchors into the mounting holes. The mounting template can then be discarded. First, let's take a closer look at the junction box. A junction box allows cable entry from the wall or from a conduit positioned underneath or to the side of the camera. To accommodate other mounting surfaces, the junction box may be mounted to an optional mounting bracket. Then, pull the cables through the cable entry hole and then through the junction box. Fasten the junction box to the wall with the wall screws. Use silicone sealant to seal the edges of the junction box at the wall. Sealing the edges helps prevent moisture from entering the wall or junction box. Next, slide the mounting hooks located on the back of the camera into the mounting hook slots on the junction box and let the camera hang securely. Next, let's overview the camera's rear view. Scanning the QR code with a mobile phone connects to the camera's Wi-Fi access point. For security, the device information label cannot be accessed after the camera mount is attached to the junction box. External devices are connected to the camera through the power and input-output wires. To learn more about power and connecting external devices, refer to the installation guide. The RJ45 port accepts power and the Ethernet connection to the network. Server communication and image data transmission also occur over this connection. Note that the camera can be either powered by power over Ethernet or 24-volt DC aux. In the next segment, let's overview the steps to connect the cables. If the Ethernet cable is uncrimped, push it through the protective rubber boot. Then attach the RJ45 connector to the Ethernet cable. If the Ethernet cable is crimped, push the crimped cable along with the RJ45 connector through the protective rubber boot. Then use the Teflon tape to prevent moisture from entering the RJ45 connector. Plug the Ethernet cable into the RJ45 port. Next, slide the protective rubber boot over the RJ45 port. If this deployment is using DC power, connect the DC power cables to the camera wiring harness. Next, scan the Join Wi-Fi QR code on the device information label to connect to the camera before fastening the camera to the junction box. The QR code is also accessible from the inside of the configuration panel. The next segment demonstrates how to fasten the camera to the junction box. First, tuck the cables into the junction box. Then, align the camera to the junction box so that the camera mount is flush with the junction box. Secure the camera using the junction box screws. These screws come pre-inserted into the camera base. Let's take a closer look at the camera side view. Highlighted here is the IR illuminator, which provides scene illumination in the IR spectrum. The next segment overviews how to adjust the camera's sun shroud. The sun shroud protects the camera sensors from sun glare and helps prevent overexposure of the image scene. To adjust the sun shroud, ensure access to a security bit hex key and a ladder. Use the security bit hex key to loosen the sun shroud adjustment screw on the bottom of the camera. Next, adjust the coverage by sliding the sun shroud laterally along the camera's axis. For locations with high glare, slide the sun shroud forward toward the camera lens. Inversely, slide the sun shroud back toward the camera mount for locations with less glare. That completes the steps required to adjust the sun shroud. Next, let's take a closer look at the configuration panel underneath the sun shroud. The reset button is located here. To turn on the camera Wi-Fi access point, press and hold the button for 1 second. To reset the camera to the factory default settings, press and hold the button for 10 seconds. If the device no longer functions as expected, reset the device to factory default settings. For further information on resetting the camera, reference the installation guide or the supplementary video. Highlighted here is the USB-C port. This port is only used for internal support. Note that a flashing green LED indicates network activity, while a solid green LED indicates that the camera is powered on. This card slot accepts a micro SD card for onboard storage. The cover for the configuration panel is highlighted here. Then, tighten the security screw. The next segment demonstrates how to adjust the camera mount. To begin, let's take a closer look at the camera side view. Highlighted here is the adjustable mount arm for positioning the camera. These screws provide a locking mechanism for the mount arm. Ensure access to a security bit hex key and a ladder to complete the following steps. Before aiming, remove the protective covering from the lenses and IR illuminator. To begin, use the security bit hex key to loosen the security screw in the base of the camera mount. To adjust the camera roll, rotate the camera to the desired angle. To adjust the pitch of the camera, use the security bit hex key to loosen the security screw in the joint of the camera mount. Then raise or lower the camera to the desired tilt. Finally, tighten both security screws. For more information on connecting to the camera using a mobile phone or a computer, see the installation guide or the connecting to the camera video. This completes the steps required for installing the Avigilon L6A camera.